Hello, I am Crypti Wolf, and I'm going to read a creepypasta. Now let's start. Road Rovers Lost Episode. Now, I recently discovered this series called The Road Rovers. It was an old 90s show that aired on the Kids WB for a couple of years, then aired on Cartoon Network for a few more years, and then completely vanished into thin air. Well, I recently heard of a Christmas special and a mysterious 14th episode that was made, but had never aired. I went to find out more information about these when suddenly, I came across an eBay listing entitled Road Rovers 14th episode unaired. It was a blank DVD with Road Rovers 14th episode unaired written on it with black Sharpie. It was going for about $5 with about $3 or $4 shipping. I was doubtful that this was legit, but I placed my bid on it anyway. Within 3 short hours, the listing had ended, and I had won the item. I jumped for joy and started posting my achievement on various forums. Within minutes, many fans started asking me questions about it, like, was it legit? And, how did you get it? My responses were, not sure yet. And, I placed a bid on eBay. About a week later after it shipped, which was 3 days after I sent my money to the seller, which was seconds after I had won the DVD, I opened my mailbox and found a small, orange, square envelope containing the episode, which was in a small, thin, square DVD case. A giant smile spread across my face and I, without hesitation, went to watch it on my laptop. I ran into my room, closed the door, and opened the sleeve. The DVD fell out, as well as a mysterious letter. It was written on lined paper that still had the notebook attachment still on it, and it was folded into a smallish thin square. To overcome my curiosity, I unfolded the letter and read the following. Dear purchaser, the episode that is contained within this DVD is something that you'll never, ever expect to find anywhere else. This episode has haunted me for so long. I can't help but feel sorry for you, the idiot, for purchasing this item. The listing was originally supposed to be a joke, but, oh well. All that I can say for you now is, good luck. Good luck? I thought to myself. It's the ultra-rare 14th episode of Road Rovers that everyone has been talking about since its cancellation. But still, I was a bit paranoid. How could this episode have haunted this seller for so long? I had to know for sure. While I was doing my research, I found that the episode's name was Hunter's Best Friend. When the DVD started, the episode name was not called that. In fact, it was called The Day Hunter Cried. All that I can say is, this episode, like it did to the seller before, still haunts me to this day. I'm not planning on selling this DVD. That would be absurd. I really don't want to relive the details of this unforgettable experience, but here I go anyway. I'll explain the best that I can about this episode, in which I remember vividly with only one watch necessary. Before I get to the episode description, though, I would like to tell you what happened after I watched it. I told everyone on the forums that I had finally saw it. Like I had predicted, they flipped out and started asking me questions. Was it really good? One asked. What was it about? Asked another. All I could respond with was, it wasn't legit. Just a fan-made animation. Complete waste of money. I figured, was all they could say, for the most part. As this story is published, I'm sure someone out there will make some sort of picture for what I saw. Some artists might get it right, and some might get it wrong. Who knows, maybe it'll so dead on that I wonder if someone else was unlucky enough to own a copy as well. Hopefully an animation won't come up. I know it won't be legit, but people can try, I guess. So, anyway, on with the description. I only needed one viewing to describe these terrible events with extremely vivid detail, as said before. The theme song started and played for about a minute or so, and then started the actual episode. It opened with the Road Rovers headquarters being completely empty. Not a soul was around. It went to every room, each one lasting for about a second or two on screen, like a security camera. The normal credits played, stating the director and episode name and all that. I had no idea how this was disturbing at first, but that was because it was only the first minute or so. Kinda boring, really. Until what I'm about to explain to you now. After the camera showed the kitchen, which was empty, just like all of the others, it showed the main headquarters, with Hunter standing far away, at the back of the room. All alone. Just standing there. I noticed within seconds that his eyes didn't look quite right. No, they weren't normal at all. Hunter's eyes were little black pits instead of white circles with brown inside. The camera skipped to a couple more empty rooms, then back to headquarters again, where Hunter was now standing slightly closer, his black eyes still remaining on the viewer. This process went on for about 2 more times, each time Hunter getting closer and closer. I noticed on the third return that he had little red dots for pupils within the black pits. I wanted to stop the DVD then and there. This was too much. But, for some strange reason, I kept on watching anyway. On the final return to headquarters, Hunter was now completely close up with the viewer, who could only see his head, neck, and tops of his shoulders. His face was eerie. His eyes stared into mine, like he was staring into my soul. Slowly and disturbingly, his mouth started to turn into a wry smile. The smile got bigger and bigger, showing little sharp fangs for teeth. When he finally stopped smiling, it reached the top of his eyes. They started to brim with tears, but they weren't ordinary tears. No, it was blood. Little at a time, the blood started to trickle down his eyelids, down his face, onto his suit. Only 2 small streaks from the tears from each eye were seen. He remained like that for about 30 seconds. Soon, the background started to melt. It melted very slowly as well. Hunter was the only one that was still the same. Eerie music soon played. After everything finished melting, there was nothing but black in the background. Hunter continued to stare. I was starting to freak out now. This was getting really terrifying. Who would create this kind of episode? Was this some kind of joke? Tom Rugier definitely wouldn't accept this. No way in hell. Before I could blink, Hunter's head exploded, realistic blood and brains splattering the screen. My face was in shock. This surely wasn't legit. It couldn't be. This was too grotesque. The menu came back up, and I immediately, almost literally, tore the DVD out of the player port, put it back in its case, and threw it in my closet, never to be seen again. As I was typing this, I decided to draw a picture depicting the scene that scarred me the most. The image was, and still is, so vivid.